Blank check with Griffin and David. Blank check with Griffin and David. Don't know what to say or to expect. All you need to know is that the name of the show is Blank Check.
So this is the end. I better make my will. I, Will Williams, do hereby leave everything to my podcast. Oh no, I have a podcast, The Second Sign of Madness. This isn't
funny.
really a quote-based
No,
movie.
that was good. That was good.
Moment. And it felt apropos to this, our second proper Zoom record.
Yes.
Which does feel like its own form of madness.
It does, and this movie feels like its own form of madness, so it's just an absolutely vital combo, in my opinion.
It is funny. The term I keep on overusing throughout all these George Miller episodes is fever dream. All of these movies feel like fever dreams, whether they're good dreams or bad dreams. They all have that quality to them. And most of this miniseries was recorded before the world shut down. And it was just sort of an interesting look into a type of mania. And then we're finishing out these final episodes while socially distant and terrified about the world surrounding us. And these movies play very differently. Even one that seems somewhat innocuous on its face, like Happy Feet 2, now makes me question everything.
I fled New York because of this movie.
It was this movie specifically?
Movie. Yep.
And then
I had to get out.
As far away as you could. I'm picturing Ben watching Happy Feet 2 and then loading Pig and his significant other into a car and then enacting like the Children of Men van scene.
Yeah.
Just screaming about Eric and Sven, the false idol penguin.
Oh, Sven, that puffin. You got to watch out for those puffins.
Rubes, what do you think of
Am
the
I allowed to
puffin in this
talk?
movie?
I don't know.
Yeah, you can talk.
You gotta talk. You absolutely must.
Oh, okay. So that's what you do in these. All right. I had never seen a picture of George Miller before this. I don't know what that says about me. And let me say, wonderful small glasses.
Yeah, and he always has the little rope around his glasses.
He has
what do
the
you call
rope.
it?
I don't remember, but he looks like the guy who tells like Brendan Fraser not to raid a tomb in The Mummy, or like he's the guy in the library who's like, well, the evil curse. If I consult my textbooks, he looks like that guy. Like he's in Act 1 of The Mummy.
He is currently my background photo for this Zoom record. It is him doing Happy Feet 2 press. So it's him sitting in front of a backdrop of Happy Feet 2 imagery. And he is dressed all in black and white, except for a bow tie, with his
bit of a penguin vibe.
He looks like a penguin.
Yes, his round professor glasses and the rope around him, and then they're just two penguins popping and smiling big behind him. I don't know if you know this, Rubes, but George Miller, an actual doctor with a PhD, was a medical doctor.
I mean, I would trust him with my life. He took me on a wonderful adventure in Happy Feet 2, so I feel like I'd trust him.
This movie also feels like it is made by like an animal biologist.
I don't like how realistic they are. I don't want to start out negative. I don't want to set like a negative tone, but I have to say the realism of these penguins is very upsetting.
I got two questions right off the bat, and then I'm going to introduce the podcast, and then I'm going to introduce you properly. Okay? Question number 1. Had you seen Happy Feet 1 before?
I have seen Happy Feet 1 once. And I recall that I didn't mind watching it. I didn't mind seeing it. I remember that it was very scary with like the sea lions.
But you had not seen Happy Feet 2 before preparing for this record, correct?
I had not, I had not experienced Happy Feet 2.
Okay, so now we're in a post-Happy Feet 2 mindset. Hello, everybody. My name is Griffin Newman.
I'm David Sims.
It's a blank check with Griffin and David. It is a self-quarantined, socially distant, responsible podcast about filmographies. Directors who have massive success early on in their careers and are given a series of blank checks to make whatever crazy passion projects they want, and sometimes those checks clear, and sometimes they tap a baby. And this is a mini-series on the films of George Miller, Dr. George Miller, PhD. It is called...
You keep saying PhD. He has an MD, not a PhD.
Okay! Dr. George Miller, MD. This was the second and final film produced by his pop-up animation studio, Dr. D Productions, which shut down
Dr. D.
promptly after opening weekend of Happy Feet 2. He tried to give the world the D, and they said, please, no more. This is a Mad Pod Fury cast, the films of George Miller, MD. We're talking Happy Feet 2. And our guest today, from BuzzFeed, and from being one of my oldest friends, and one of my favorite people in the world, is Sara Rubin. How are you doing, Rubes?
I'm okay.
No, that noise covered it, I think. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Assembling my thoughts just constantly, but
Yeah. Our dear mutual friend Alejandra Collini, past and future guest, had a joke that I think about all the time. Still has the joke. It's still his. He still owns the joke. But about when people would ask him how he was doing, and his answer would be objectively fine. And I keep on thinking about that. Like, anytime anyone asks me how I'm doing amid corona panic, I go like, well, I am doing okay relative to the state of the world, but I don't feel good.
No. It's not a good feeling time.
No. But Rubin, you live in sunny Hollywood, California. You were going to come in to New York City for Passover, and then the world paused. And so we are breaking our anti-Zoom embargo just in time to take advantage of your thoughts on Happy Feet 2.
I took notes. I took this very seriously. I've got graphs.
If someone watched this movie and was like, I have no thoughts, I would just be like, I don't think you watched the movie. You must have watched something else.
You were just watching March of the Penguins.
Sure.
Right, exactly.
I was somewhat concerned, and I don't know if you felt this way, David, but I was somewhat concerned that this was going to be the one movie in George Miller's filmography that didn't really exist, where we were going to have to sort of vamp and come up with weird side bits because there wasn't much to say, especially after Happy Feet. And I am so pleasantly surprised that this movie is so dense that I almost feel like we cannot cover it within one episode.
I know what you mean. We could probably do 10-part miniseries on it. I felt the same way. And then while I was watching it, I was like, why did I feel that way? And I texted you something that I feel like we need to bring out into the open immediately. Would you agree?
Yeah. Sure.
Where I was like, he's the king of sequels. He has made so many sequels that are better than the original and weirder than the original.
Or at
arguably
least deserve to be in the same conversation.
Exactly.
You go Babe 2, the 3 Mad Maxes, the heightening of the Mad Maxes, and Happy Feet 2.
He's made 5 sequels. They're all fascinating, and they are none of them are lazy. Like, none of them are like, we'll just do what the first thing did. We'll kind of build on it a little bit. Like, none of them are that. He's always like, no. Where can I take it that no one would expect it to be taken?
That was my thing. My immediate take to you.
I thought it'd be the same arc as the first one.
Same.
Like,
100%.
the same. I'd be, now the baby can't sing or can't dance or can't do the electric boogaloo or something.
The first 2 minutes where it's like, he can't dance. I'm like, great. So now he can't dance. It's just going to be the same plot in reverse. Like,
this movie is so fucking sneaky because it tries to outsmart you in the first 5 minutes. It's like fucking John Turturro in Mr. Deeds. It's incredibly sneaky. And it starts off and you're just like banging your head against a wall and you're like, is it really going to be now his kid is the only person who can't dance because everyone likes dancing and his kid looks exactly like him and now he looks like his dad. And then the movie becomes the Nashville of children's films. Then it becomes the most complicated narrative structure I have ever seen on a children's film. that feels like it's completely disjointed until it somehow all unifies and becomes representational of the basic sort of like ecosystem of like all animals' relationship to each other and the environment.
In the environment, in a time of climate apocalypse, it's about how animals are all knitted in this sort of gossamer net that must be maintained to like keep up social order, and that's all like driven through our heads by these krill who are like, but I don't like my position in society. I don't like my position in existence. What if I could change it? And by the end of the movie, they're like, this is why you are where you are. And it's a good thing.
Don't
and
speak
that doesn't
up.
mean you're meaningless.
Know your place.
No, but you're right. But it's also like, but that doesn't mean you don't have meaning. It's just how it has to be.
Status quo is the most important thing, and you should never step outside of it.
It's a fair, but that doesn't mean you're not a person.
It's also about hippies eating chicken.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this film's about many, many things. But what's so fascinating about that message is the first Happy Feet is the exact opposite message in almost a too clean kind of pat way, where it's just about like, let your freak flag fly, society, religion, your political leaders, they're all going to say you need to function this one way, and that's not true. Your heart song is whatever you want it to be. It doesn't even need to be a song. And then Happy Feet 2 is like, but understand, you need to find yourself and find your happiness, but also society collapses unless we all play our roles. So you be you, but also we all have parts to play, or else this all falls to hell.
That is all accurate. That's what this is about.
And this is the fucking Miller King of the Sequels thing. Is like, the movie starts and you're like, he's just doing the same thing again. But the reason he's so good at sequels is because he is one of the few people who thinks about sequels laterally. This is my whole take. That he doesn't just go like, what's the next obvious story in the narrative? Like, what would happen next? And he doesn't just go, how do you make it bigger? Or how do you flip the last thing? Or how do you heighten the last thing? He goes like, what's a lateral move? What's a thing that exists on the same lateral plane as the first film I've established and the world I've established that I find equally interesting? And I'm just going to move sideways to that, which sometimes works wildly well in the eyes of the public and sometimes does not at all. And something like Babe Pig in the City, where people were angry when it came out, this movie, it just feels like got a collective shrug.
Big shrug. Big shrug.
And especially for a movie where, like, the first one wins Best Animated Film, critics love it, it's a massive fucking hit. I felt like, you know what, that first one, not for me. I seem to like it less than most. Fine, whatever it is, I'm fine with it. It's respectable, but it's not necessarily my tempo. And then this movie just gets like a giant shrug. I don't think about it for the better part of a decade. I don't even consider watching it until this miniseries starts up. And 5 minutes in, I was like, God damn it, this thing honks.
Right, there's something working here.
Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang.
Oh, a little Zoom call.
Oh my god, we're being Zoom bombed over here. Let me see what's going on here.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm looking for a lead.
You're looking for a lead. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who you are. What's your name?
Detective Skincare's my name.
Detective Skincare. All right. This is a new one.
Detective Joshua Skincare. It was Skinkarowski, and they changed it at Ellis Island. My parents, they did.
So you're just a regular detective. It just happens, your last name happens to be Skincare.
Absolutely. And look, I'm looking for the cold, hard truth, guys.
Uh-huh.
Skin has needs.
All right, so you're here to talk about skin. You're not here to talk about
I'm not. I'm
murder.
a general detective. I got a lot of different things that I talk about. Now, if you want to look as good as possible, and I'm talking about for as long as possible, you need to address those needs now. I'm a general detective. I don't just talk about skincare.
All right. So are you here to talk about our friends at Lumen or something?
I get it, you perps. You might not know where to start. But I got a company that's taken all the guesswork out of you. You might not need to hire a detective if you hire this company. And I bet you got no idea which company it is.
I just feel like you're saying you're a detective. You clearly are here to talk about Lumen, which is a great company that's on the mission to give men the amazing skin they deserve through high quality expert products delivered right to your door. But you're doing this whole detective thing.
Are you accusing me of being a Lumen spokesperson?
It's not an accusation. I would welcome a Lumen spokesperson.
Hey!
It's just I
am an independent detective, a private eye.
Okay, well,
I work for nobody, but all I want to say is, at Lumen, all of their products are formulated specifically for men's skin and made to target skin issues with maximum efficiency, using top-notch ingredients like charcoal, green tea extract, and vitamin C.
Now look, you're a little older.
87.
And you look good. You clearly have good skin health.
Chock full of wrinkles, but less than my age would imply.
Something like Lumen, it helps you prevent long-term damage if you have a good good skin management system.
Yeah, but David, it's not just about looking good. It's also about feeling good. You need good skin health, especially as you get older, to prevent long-term damage, like detective
that's exactly what I was just
skincare.
saying. So tell me about, you've been using Lumen for a long time. You enjoy it?
Yeah, I got that charcoal cleanser, that exfoliating scrub, a moisturizer. They come in little round serving sizes.
Sure, and it comes right to your door, right?
Hey, this is Griffin. I'm going to butt in for a second. They come in they look like, I don't know, like cold cream. They're like little circular packages, which is nice because in a future where some of us may actually eventually fly on planes again, they're the kind of skincare products that you probably could get through,
Just, it's perfect time right now for this kind of convenient delivery.
Totally.
Helps you look your best, even if you're, staying at home.
And once again, this is Griffin talking. I got super sensitive skin. The people at Lumen sent some products, and it's been a nice little routine to have. It's been a good adjustment to my life of staying very indoors and not having much outside air, which can be a little rocky for the old skin.
For the old skin.
Guys, cut it out. It sounded like you were making this ad read personal.
Well, you deserve to look and feel your best, and here's where you start. You go to lumenskin.com/check to get a 1-month free trial of everything you need to start your skincare journey at home. That's lumenskin.com/check to get your first month free. lumenskin.com/check.
Didn't the first one come out around the same time as March of the Penguins, or was there another Penguin movie?
Correct. The first one comes out, I believe, a year after March of the Penguins. It was incredible timing.
Penguin fever.
Yeah, but it was pure happenstance because animated films take so goddamn long. No one thought March of the Penguins was going to be a fucking blockbuster. It's a redubbed French documentary. And somehow the same studio releases that movie pretty much a year and change before the first Happy Feet comes out. And that, Happy Feet just fucking leapfrogs off of March of the Penguins, rides the Penguin wave, is such a big hit that they're like, George Miller, keep your studio open. You're never going to stop making animated films. Keep a staff on retainer. Give us Happy Feet 2 as quick as you can. And he's like, I really want to make that Mad Max movie. And they're like, yeah, Mad Max movie.
He's putting all the Penguin statues away, taking them back out again.
Yeah. But it was one of those things where they were like, we promise you, if you make Happy Feet 2, we'll let you do the Mad Max thing. And so they're kind of like a parcel deal, it feels like.
Yeah, so there is also Justice League in between these two movies.
Right.
After Happy Feet, he's hired to make Justice League : Mortal.
One of the best titles ever not made.
Did you know that he was the second choice to direct that movie?
For Justice League Mortal was the first Jason Reitman?
Jason Reitman, coming off of...
Wow.
I mean, he was coming off of
Juno.
I guess Juno had been made, but George Miller signed on in September 2007, so Juno was Just out.
Juno had premiered at Toronto.
Right. Just around.
It was building momentum. This is the interview that I sent to you several months back that I'm obsessed with, where Jason Reitman talks about how he thinks he doesn't have it in him to possibly ever make a big studio film. And then Howard Stern asks him about if he'd ever do a Ghostbusters. Let me find this. He said...
I will point out, I believe Reitman turned it down.
Yes, he turned it down. He so he took the meeting, and he said, that all sounds good. I'm not the person you want to make this.
Right. He's like, I'm not a big studio guy. I'm an indie filmmaker. I'm fucking Jodorowsky Jr. over here. I can't
find the quote right now. I will have Ange post it on our Twitter when this episode comes out. But he says something like, I could never make a big film. Like, people think that I should direct Ghostbusters 3 because my dad did the first two. My Ghostbusters would be so indie. It would just be like people sitting around having a conversation about
Right. It would be fucking Jerry. It would just be guys walking around in the desert and nothing would happen.
I'm so fucking indie. I couldn't make a Ghostbusters 3 with any sort of plot. And now he is elected himself.
No gunner seats.
Right. No gunner seats whatsoever. No nostalgia button pushing. And now Jason Reitman, as we know, was unanimously elected the president of Ghostbusters.
Was that movie part of was that a movie part of COVID push, or is that still, when is that movie supposed to come out?
That's
next
a
summer?
good question.
Or was that, because I feel like it just disappeared.
It is one of the few movies that has been completely silent in the wake of COVID.
It is set for July, which remains a slight gray area. Like, July movies are sort of waiting and seeing for a little while longer, I guess. But yes, Sony has not weighed in.
They're playing chicken. I'm sure by the time this episode comes out, we'll have a better sense of where Ghostbusters Afterlife will lie.
The ARG will have started.
Of course.
I will be deep in it.
Of course. Look, maybe it's already happening.
Oh,
maybe we don't realize
this is part of it?
Maybe all of this is part of it.
This is part of the ARG?
Maybe. But I feel like they're playing the waiting game of, is it possible for Ghostbusters Afterlife to be the first movie released once theaters
They might have to
reopen?
change that name.
Yes.
Might want to change
it. Call it Ghostbusters Pandemic is what they should call it. Look, I'm just talking from a studio perspective. I don't like the title.
You're right. Anyway.
Putting on my marketing hat here.
It'd be the Boo-demic.
It would be a Boo-demic, yes. That's a good point.
It would be a Boo-demic, and 5 comedy points for that.
That's good.
Thank you.
But yeah, so George Miller obviously spends a year-ish, trying to make his Justice League movie with frickin', Adam Brody and Teresa Palmer and whoever. I can't. No, not Teresa
Army
Palmer.
Hammer.
Oh yeah, it was Teresa. Yeah, Army Hammer, Megan Gale, Common. Yeah, she was going to be Talia al Ghul. I forgot. Anyway, and then the writer's strike tanks that movie along with The Dark Knight doing so well that Warner Brothers is like, wait, what? Why would we do this?
Well,
this is insanity.
It's even before that. Nolan is like, shut this thing down.
Yeah, like, what is this? What's And Miller has never gotten over that. And has always been like, my movie would have been crazy, and I have no doubt that it would have been. I would love to see it.
Yes.
Call me Monique because I would love to see it.
Monique because you'd love to see it. What am I not getting?
The meme where she's like, I would like to see it.
I didn't know that was from a meme.
Yeah, I don't think I know the Monique meme. Let me just Google Monique.
You gotta brush up on your
You would like
history.
to see the meme?
I'm behind on the Monique memes.
While you're looking that up, can I just point out that also riding the penguin wave is the movie Surf's Up?
I love Surf's Up. So good.
Oh, Surf's Up.
It's freaking rules.
Literal penguin waves.
That is very true, and
Penguins of Madagascar, the movie is actually the legitimately funniest penguin movie I've ever seen.
Really?
I have not.
Penguin movie.
I have not seen.
Do
the
you
Penguins
not
of
like it,
Madagascar.
Griffin? You
I have
haven't
not
seen
seen
Penguins of Madagascar? Oh, it's got such good bits.
I have not seen it. I do know I am not a huge fan of the first 2 Madagascar movies. I have never seen the third. I am fascinated by the fact, and I've railed about this on the podcast before.
Multiple times.
There are 3 different continuities within the Madagascar universe. There's the 3 mainline Madagascar films, the proper trilogy, if you will. Then there is a TV show.
Call that Timeline Alpha.
Timeline Alpha, okay?
Yeah.
Then there is what I would like to call the Kelvin timeline. This is an alternate reality in which the penguins make it back to the zoo or never leave the zoo, never end up in Madagascar, and have their TV show, the Nickelodeon TV show, Penguins of Madagascar.
Is that not a prequel?
It is not. It is not. It is if the films don't happen, even though it is called the Penguins of Madagascar.
Griffin is now
being from Madagascar is their defining characteristic, except in the universe of the TV show, they have never been to Madagascar.
Griffin is now speaking with the energy of Kevin Costner at the end of JFK, as he always does anytime this topic comes up.
They're the penguins of the film Madagascar. The penguins of the film Madagascar.
Right.
Well, no. Yeah. Right. So now there's the third.
So we're done.
The third timeline I would like to establish. Okay. And this is the Lone Gunman timeline. Okay, if I may. This is the timeline for Penguins of Madagascar, the movie, which is separate from both Madagascar, the film series, and Penguins of Madagascar, the TV series, because they want to set it in a universe where animals hold down people jobs, where you can have a fucking animal who's a special agent or a squid who's a bad guy or whatever.
But they're not interacting with people, Griffin. They're not interacting.
Exactly.
They're in their own. They have animal jobs in animal. They're also,
That's
I think
what
the
I'm
penguins
saying.
are supposed to be insane. So
it's
the
a
penguins,
Zootopia scenario.
The penguins are nuts. So the penguins are like, we're secret agents, but they're not secret agents for anyone. They're just like insane penguins.
But there are no humans in the film The Penguins of Madagascar, correct?
I think there's like some in the background, but I don't think they have lines.
I mean, that is what necessitates it taking place in a third timeline.
No, there are humans because the penguins are in like an aquarium. The humans don't have like roles necessarily, but a lot of it is about the penguins all getting kidnapped and being put in an aquarium, and the humans go see them.
Fair enough.
So I just want to say it's just great Malkovich as an octopus. Also, the octopus is pretending to be a human. That's important to know.
Okay.
If you could all open your chat window, you'll see that I posted the GIF. If you just want to take a look at Monique saying, I love
education. Oh yes, I do know.
Oh, that's a really good GIF.
It's a great GIF. It's a hit meme.
I just want to say to Andrew's point, 3 comedy points for saying that Surf's Up was riding a wave.
It was.
Thank you. I had to get it in there somewhere.
You got it in there, and it landed. It landed beautifully. But Surf's Up comes out in between Happy Feet and Happy Feet 2. And Surf's Up performs Mezzo Mezzo at the box office. So that was maybe the first sign. Not a huge hit. That was maybe the first sign. Oh, penguin fever.
Fatigue.
Might have crested a little bit.
Yeah.
And then old Georgie Miller still has 4 years to go until Happy Feet 2 comes out. So Happy Feet 1, a film that is all about its insane world building and mythology. The sort of very casual, we all know that penguins have a heart song. What if a penguin were to not have a heart song and instead had heart feet? And how would society reject them? And what journey would a penguin have to go on to find their inner confidence, to meet other societies of penguins, to come back home and win over his religiously conservative parents and save all of his penguin brethren from global warming by becoming a viral media star.
And also there's a medley of pop songs.
Right.
Exactly.
And moments.
Happy Feet 1 is, I feel like, a little more like of a musical. Whereas Happy Feet 2 is like there's music at the beginning and the end, but not so much in the middle.
Oh my God, this is a hot take that I'm probably going to get a little bit of flack for.
Throw it down, Rich.
But
put on your flak jacket.
I think it's on. It's on. I think that Lovelace's song about Sven on par with the Genie song. It was so good.
Wow.
I think it's a really good song. That's
It is a
the
good
other
song.
weird thing is this movie is less of a musical than the first one, but it has like more original songs.
Right. The first one is fully jukeboxy, and this one is more of a mix.
Right, it's like all jukebox medleys. It's all Elephant Love Song. And this one has like big medley at the beginning, big medley at the end, and then like 3 big original ballads in the middle. Like
one of which is like
songs.
an opera ballad.
Yes.
Love that part. Great part of the movie. All right, guys, I just want to backtrack a minute, okay?
Thanks.
There's 2 things I want to bring up. One, can you tell me the tagline of Surf's Up?
The tagline of the film Surf's Up.
I just saw it, and I just need to address before we move on.
Hang 10.
This time,
It's not
this
not
time
bad,
they're
but
surfing.
no.
Does
Nope.
it include the word wave in it?
No.
Is
it
it like
chill out?
Cowabunga? Cowabirda?
All great. No. A major ocean picture.
Love that.
Ooh. Wow.
Yep.
That's good.
Wow.
That's very good.
Yep. Yeah, just let that settle.
Mm.
Kind of like you've like cracked open a soda and it's kind of fizzing. Just let it kind of like,
Someone
All right.
definitely brought that up as a tagline for Nemo, and they were like, absolutely not. We will never
Right.
do that. And then Surf's Up was like, we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, whatever. Major ocean picture, sure.
If we're talking in memes now, I just truly did the Antonio Banderas reacting to the
He did.
laptop. I've just been reeling from that news here. That's
It's just
beautiful.
It's weird that like Shark Tale didn't do that. You know what I mean?
It's weird that every film before it
Exactly.
passed.
That like every movie had been like major ocean. I don't get it. Like, and then finally Surf's Up grabbed the gem.
There are even many live action films that could have used that tagline.
Yep.
Wow. A major ocean picture.
All right, now here's the second thing, and this is, I feel like,
Okay.
a good start. I just want to run down the poster billing for Happy Feet 2.
Oh, it's insane. It's some of the weirdest billing I have ever
I'm
seen.
going to read it left to right. It's 2 blocks. All right. Elijah Wood. Sure.
Of course. Yeah,
We remember
the star
him.
of our film. Yeah,
Robin
Mumbles
Williams.
himself.
And then Robin Williams.
Just casually playing 3 different characters.
Okay.
And none
Third bill.
of those characters are problematic, and it's all
No,
very
no.
cool. And
Also,
They're all-
at the end, there's casually a Jamaican penguin at the
course,
end
of
also.
No,
Just
it's
like,
just-
all right, Robin, do a Jamaican penguin real
Oh.
quick.
Yeah. That was just him riffing, right?
It's like, what if one was Jamaican?
He didn't have a sequel deal in place, right? So when they came to the table to negotiate for him to come back to Happy Feet 2, he said, I would love to find a way to appropriate one other type of language if I can. I know we already got 3 in there. I'd love to find another patois that I can throw into this film.
I mean, it's Robin Williams. You're just describing his stand-up career.
Please make sure the penguin is wearing a Rasta hat. That is very important.
God,
Otherwise, people won't know.
this can't be subtle.
I thought that was supposed to be the same penguin just doing a new thing.
It is. It
Yeah,
is, but
right,
that's
right,
where he
right,
got
right.
tricky.
No,
Because
that's
I'm
what-
sure George Miller came to him and said, look, you're playing the same 3 characters again, narrator, Lovelace, Ramon. There's no room for you to invoke a third identity. A 4th identity, rather. And he was like, can the third character just inexplicably for the last scene? Much like Adrian Brody introducing Sean Paul on SNL.
Wait,
Can
was
he
that
just
Lovelace?
Yeah, that's Lovelace just suddenly becoming Chet Hayes for his
Yes.
final scene.
Exactly. And that's what's good about it. All right.
and the
number
hat
3.
is made from his shirt where his belly has
Yes,
ripped.
of course.
Right?
Of course.
Yes, of
Oh.
course.
Correct.
Oh.
Good job, Ben.
Thank
well
you.
noticed.
That.
All right. Number 3. Third build.
Okay.
Hank Azaria.
Of course.
Right.
The
We-
breakout
we-
star of the film.
The breakout star of the film doing a Scandinavian accent. Okay. Number
Eric's
4.
the
And
puppet.
she's billed this way. Alicia Moore. Begin brackets. Pink with an exclamation point. And brackets. And that's an exclamation
know-
point
I'm sorry.
instead of an I.
Thank you.
It's not
I
like
needed you
it's
to
like pink.
specify where it was placed.
It's Pink.
No,
It's
That's Pink's real name.
I don't even know how you would read that.
I think it's Pink.
That's so cool. I wish I could you just have your name and have an exclamation point in it, like
Yeah.
legally?
Do it, Ben. Sure, why not?
Ben Hosley.
All right. Okay, so Pink is 4th build. 5th build, Brad Pitt.
Yes.
Love that.
Brad Pitt, the famous actor.
Yeah.
You heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
6th build.
What does he play?
He plays a krill. He plays
right,
Will the Krill.
Yeah. Right. One of the biggest movie stars on the planet. Yeah.
Right.
Makes
the same year
sense.
as Moneyball.
Yeah.
6th build, Matt Damon.
Okay.
Oh, another one of the biggest stars on the planet. Now here's
that
where
guy?
Happy Feet.
What's his role?
What is he doing?
You're never gonna believe this.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
He is also playing a krill.
Interesting.
So this is where the marketing team for Happy Feet 2 runs into a problem. Because you have the 2 biggest stars in the movie, who are also 2 of the biggest stars alive, playing what are fairly probably the 5th and 6th biggest characters in the film. And are literally the smallest characters, physically the smallest characters in the movie.
I would put them 3rd and 4th. I think they have more screen time than Azaria, definitely more than Pink. No offense to Pink.
Yeah.
I disagree on Azaria. I'll accept Pink. I will accept Pink and we will move on from this.
All right, 7th build.
But this is where... Okay, go on,
okay.
go on.
No, go ahead. Okay. 7th build, Sofia Vergara.
Sure.
You're okay with that?
I will accept it. I will accept it. She was popping at the moment. I'll accept it.
Okay. 8th build, Hugo Weaving. Reprising his role.
Was he the elephant seal?
No, he's the elder penguin. He has like 2 lines.
There's so many freaking penguins in this goddamn movie. I saw how many penguins, the scenes overhead where there's just like tons of penguins, and I was like, there's not this many penguins on Earth. There's so many freaking penguins. It's terrifying.
9th build is Richard Carter. He's billed on the poster.
Now he's the one. He's the big seal guy.
He's the big seal. He's also the bullet farmer in Mad Max Fury Road. He's like a journeyman Australian actor who's been in, he's a detective in Babe Pig in the City. He's in Muriel's Wedding playing a cop. Like
12 million penguins in the world.
And you're just looking up random stats and showing us your phone?
All right. 10th build, Common.
Replacing Fat Joe, inexplicably.
Fat Joe, inexplicably. Maybe Fat Joe was just busy. I don't know.
Sure.
11th build, Magda Subansky, who, of course, we all know is the star of Babe Pig in the City. She plays Farmer Hoggett's wife. In this movie, she plays Bo's mother.
I mean, is a tiny role in this film.
Yes. She makes the 12 build actors, though.
We're talking above the title. We're not talking about the lower credit block. This is the top of the poster. It goes this deep on billing to include her.
Yes.
I like that somebody maybe wouldn't be convinced until they got to her and they were like, okay, now.
Oh, Magda's in there?
Okay. You've won me over.
Take my $12.
Brad Pitt? No thanks.
Yes.
12th build, Anthony LaPaglia. Not even getting an and. He plays a skua.
Yes. He's one of the bad birds.
Yeah, who's like, I want to eat them penguins. Like that.
Okay, so the poster that you're reading is the teaser poster, right? With all those names listed. The tagline is every step counts. And that says November 2011.
Correct.
Okay, but they start to realize, the marketing team, that they have a problem because their 2 biggest stars are Brad Pitt and Matt Damon, but they're right there in the middle of the billing and they might get lost. You don't want people to not make it that far into the credit block, right?
Right.
So the final theatrical poster for Happy Feet 2, this is what they do that I find fascinating. They cut out the second tier, right?
Yes.
So they go, okay, it's just one line of billing. Wood, Williams, Azaria. That's top 3. And then they go Pitt, Damon, dead center in the middle of the poster. Not any higher, not any lower, but they're dead center. And then continue Alicia Moore, Pink, Sofia Vergara, Common. But what they do is, underneath Brad Pitt and Matt Damon, they put like a little Looney Tunes circle with their 2 characters' heads poking out of it, like breaking through the poster to spotlight them. And it says, as Will and Bill the Krill.
Correct.
No one else gets that spotlight treatment. So it feels like the movie is selling Will and Bill as the main attraction before you even get to the title. You don't even know what the movie is. Then you have to scan down and go, oh, it's Happy Feet 2?
Every step counts.
Every step counts.
November 18th.
So this movie starts exactly the way you expect Happy Feet 2 to start. It starts with crazy camera movement into the middle of the Antarctic, where a bunch of penguins are dancing and doing a medley of pop songs. And you go, okay, it's this shit again.
Right.
I cannot explain why, but from minute 1, this was going down smoother for me than the first film, which I do not dislike, but do not love. And for whatever reason, I'm getting more into this. I don't know if it's just that, Happy Feet 2 can run where Happy Feet 1 walked.
I think it's a little
I'm entering at a high floor. I understand the heart songs. Society has reworked itself around mumbles. Everyone's singing and dancing. I'm just like, give me this crazy shit. Why not? I fucking give up. I surrender.
Go ahead, Sarah. We should address your complaint right now about the realism.
But I think the first one is, I'm a huge Pebble and the Penguin fan. And I feel like we can't talk about this film without acknowledging Pebble and the Penguin.
Yeah.
And the first one to me is Pebble and the Penguin. Not Pebbles. They're little songs, but whatever. But this one, it's going down whole new roads that have never been traveled before. It really, broke out of, I feel like, what made the first one a little formulaic. This one, I could not tell you, if you were like, what's going to happen in the next scene, I think every guess would have been wrong.
Correct. Every scene, if you tried to guess, okay, I know what's happening next, you would be wrong.
Do you know what I kept thinking about watching this movie? And not only had I not seen it, had I not really engaged with it, but I truly had no idea what it was about, outside of, oh, he's got a little son now.
Yeah.
So I was truly astonished at every single plot development. But I kept on thinking during this, when we did our little Q&A with James Seamus after screening the Hulk at the Draft House in Brooklyn, and we asked him if he had ideas for what Ang Lee's Hulk sequel would have been. And the pitch he gave us that he had worked on, that just disappeared once Hulk bombed, was that it was about Hulk on like a Native American reserve, connecting spiritually to the land and understanding the tapestry of like humanity.
Yes.
And it sounded so abstract. And I was like, there's no way anyone would ever let someone make a big budget sequel with that as the log line. And that's kind of what Happy Feet 2 is.
Yes. I think I would agree with that. Yes. It's, well, to quote from the first line of its Wikipedia plot summary, an evil iceberg is plotting to destroy Antarctica.
That's not what
we see an iceberg break off, and it sort of looks like an angry monster that's gonna like eat them. So I guess that's where they're getting it from.
An iceberg goes into a room of other icebergs, and they plot this whole movie out. I would love to have seen that scene.
I couldn't tell because there's so much within the Happy Feet mythology of them interpreting human beings as aliens, their sort of misunderstanding of everything.
Right.
I thought watching it that the iceberg was what they perceived a ship to be.
No.
But am I supposed to take it that it is an actual iceberg that is just moving rapidly towards their little land?
Because of climate change or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, it broke off because climate change, and it trapped the pengies.
But it is an iceberg that looks like the Titanic, right?
Sure,
I mean, it's like a massive, like, ocean liner iceberg.
Yeah.
But they see a boat later and they know what it is. Or they know that it has humans on it.
Yeah, because they played a role in Happy Feet 1. Right.
Yeah.
But the thing, I just wanted to say, Griff, because you were saying it, I do think it looks a little better. I
do too.
They've just sort of, cleaned things up. They already made one movie, so like the animals look a little cleaner. I don't know. The penguins don't look as samey. Obviously, there's more animals anyway, so there's a little more diversity.
The graphics for me, I thought were incredible. I was like, these are top-notch penguins. I mean, too real in a creepy way, but...
Yes. but I think they are executed far better than they are in the first film. There's like an amazing kind of leap in the graphic ability of this film. Ruben, you and I complain about this a lot because you're a very talented illustrator, and we're both big animation fans. And I feel like we will often vent to each other when we think an animated film has boring character design. Like what a waste it is.
Yeah.
When they're not pushing the limits of animation. And this falls into that category of like, why are you just making the penguins look like real penguins? You know? Like, why are you stuck in this weird zone between actual photorealism and being able to have the character design say anything about the characters?
I think in this one, it is creepy on some of them, but then other creatures, I feel like the elephant seals like look really good. Yeah. But then I don't know why the penguins, maybe because penguins in general are like samey looking.
They're very samey.
I think like they just have a hard time, or I don't know if they just thought if they look more real, people will take the messages of climate change more seriously rather than if it was like cartoon penguins.
The other thing they've done that's kind of annoying is they've kept Mumbles in his teen look.
I was very confused and upset by that.
Just to distinguish him. He still looks like an adolescent penguin and not a grown-up penguin. Yeah. But I think that's just so he sticks out.
Maybe he's a teen dad.
I mean, I guess he's I don't know enough about like penguin, sex and reproduction to know if like they can reproduce when they're teens.
David, you don't know enough about that?
I don't.
Yeah, how much do you know?
I think it's time for me to learn more.
Listen, you've got time to research.
Yeah.
Bring, 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 bring. Oh, we're getting Zoom bombed again. Okay, let me let this person in. Assuming it's a person. Assuming it's a human being. Click. Click, click.
Hello, my friends.
Oh, boy.
It's Ramon.
From the Happy Feet franchise?
Franchise. I love to sing and dance. I am Ramon.
You're a saucy rock hopper penguin.
Yes, I am a rock hopper. But guess what part of me is not? A rock hard.
Oh no! What are you having some trouble with?
My penguin penis is no good.
Well, I mean, I don't know how old you are exactly, Ramon, but 40% of men by age 40 struggle from nothing.
And I'm 41 and a penguin.
It's a common issue. Ramon, have you been turning to weird solutions or not doing anything?
Absolutely. Like tap dancing.
Tap dancing, maybe like searching out for penguin gurus or puffins who don't really know what they're talking about.
Yes, also gas station supplements.
You're right. No, you should turn to medicine and science.
I love medicine.
You can check out forhims.com. Just fire up our Antarctic laptop. Go to forhims.com. It's a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for men. Okay? It's going to connect you with a real licensed doctor and FDA-approved pharmaceutical products that will treat ED.
I mean, that's good because previously if I wanted to ask a doctor for help, I had to Zoom George Miller.
He is a doctor. He does have an MD.
But I try to keep that relationship to work and not get into my penis.
Right, you don't want to mix those things. Right. Exactly.
I hate talking about my penis with George Miller.
For Hims, you don't have to make multiple in-doctor office visits, right? In-office
Impossible to do in today's climate.
Exactly. All you have to do is answer questions about your medical history, chat with a doctor for confidential review, and if you're approved, the products are shipped directly to your door, okay? This is great. I think I'm really helping you out today, Ramon. I feel like this is a very productive call. You can try Hims today by starting out with a free online visit if you go to forhims.com/blank. That's forhims.com/blank. Forhims.com/blank.
Oh, sounds good. I love you so much.
Prescription products are subject to doctor approval and require an online consultation with a physician who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. You can see the website for full details and safety information. This could cost you hundreds if you went in person to the doctor's office or pharmacy, but just go. Remember, that's forhims.com/blank.
Oh, sounds good. I love you so much.
Prescription products are subject to doctor approval and require an online consultation with a physician who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. You can see the website for full details and safety information. This could cost you $100 if you went in person to the doctor's office or pharmacy. But just go. Remember, that's forhims.com/.
Oh, I love you.
Okay, Ramon?
Thank you so much. I cannot wait to have
You
a
too,
working penguin penis again.
I do think, Sarah, to your point, it's like the characters who work better graphically in this movie are the ones who are new to this film. Like the elephant seals, like Sven, like Will and Bill, even though Will and Bill fall into that penguin problem of their designs are great, but also the two of them look exactly the same and look the same as the thousands of other krill in the movie.
Do you think that they kept the same models from the old movie and then just did new models for the new characters, and that's maybe why?
I think I was trying to gauge this. The models look better for all the characters in this film than they did for the first film, having rewatched the first one recently. So I think they rebuilt the models, but they didn't want to change the design that much for the sake of continuity. But it is, I think there was that weird thing in like the 2000s in particular, and by 2010, it's pretty much out the window of CGI animated films wondering whether or not photorealism was the goal. Like when the first Shrek came out, they were talking so much about like, look at this, look at how close we've gotten to photorealism.
Right, because Fiona looks very
It looks
human.
just like this photo of Shrek.
Yeah, they were like, look at Shrek's pores. It looks just like the real Shrek. But I think Happy Feet was still in that sort of zone of like, oh, the challenge is, can we make this look more like a live action film? And by the 2010s, everyone's like, maybe the goal is to make everything toonier. And I think it leads to a better wave in CGI, and it makes CGI
And then
grow.
we circled back around to let's make it so realistic that there was no point in doing this.
Yes, exactly.
Happy Feet 2 begins with
So first 5 minutes,
Mumble and Eric, his son, dancing.
Eric can't dance.
He can pee all over himself.
He does pee all over
no.
himself in an early
I
humiliation.
wanted to forget that.
And Ramon is still around. The rest of his penguin entourage is back in their zone with Lovelace. But Ramon has
the
stayed.
Adelie penguins.
He's Uncle Ramon. He hangs out with the kids all the time, and he is thirsty on Maine. He cannot stop talking about how much he wants to get laid.
Yes. He's looking for a trap queen.
A lot of penguin romance is like not taking no for an answer.
Correct.
In the first one too, it's like just not. It's being rejected and then trying harder.
All penguins are disciples of mystery. I think that is canon within this film. This first 5-10 minutes, you're like, this is exactly what I would think it would be. This feels like 1,000 other movies. This feels like the obvious studio notes, like brainstorm session for Happy Feet 2, the version that George Miller doesn't direct. And then the film just veers wildly off course.
Yes. Eric, after his great humiliation in which, when trying to dance, he is upside down and pees on himself, flees to Adelie Land, which is where all the Adelie penguins are, and meets the mighty Sven, who is a puffin who's pretending to be a special kind of penguin with flying powers and is trying to, like, bewitch all the other penguins into thinking they can fly. And he's voiced by Hank Azaria.
He's a cult
and he
leader.
has which is, again, a thread from the first movie. The first movie also has a lot of cult leaders and
false prophets.
The penguin, and the penguins are kind of easily led sheep, communities.
George Miller loves cults of personality.
He does.
And this character is kind of similar to Rocky from Chicken Run, except Rocky is like a con artist who's trying to like get out of a situation. And this guy is just basking in the sort of idolatry he gets. Right.
He's not in it for the money or whatever. He just likes the attention, I think. Right.
That's also horny.
Not a bad guy. Yeah. He's also very horny.
Mm-hmm. Everyone in this movie is fairly horny. He's not a bad guy. But he's in way over his head, and everyone's always looking to him for advice, and that's, I don't know. It's so weird.
But he's got a stapled together beak because he was rescued and nurtured by the quote unquote aliens on their big ship. And that is where he met Lovelace, who was also abducted by them, and they made him a little sweater, which is the key marketing angle to all of the stuff for Happy Feet 2, because they seemingly didn't know how to sell this movie to people. They were all in on the sweater. They put the sweater on the word
in the title, right? Is wearing a sweater.
Right. It is some of the best, like, human, like, the effect that they put on the human actors to make them look like they're part of the film. I'm very impressed by.
It's so weird.
But it's another example of this movie just going to 90 almost immediately, because all of Happy Feet 1 is building up to the eeriness of the human stuff. And Happy Feet 2 gets there in like minute 15 in a massive story song that Robin Williams and Hank Azaria sing together, where they explain their whole weird journey with the aliens.
It very much reminded me of In Sweet Charity. Have you seen that? The song that they sing. Is it Sammy Davis Jr.? I forget what song it is that they sing about him where he's a cult leader. Yeah.
But it also, like, it feels like a Music Man, like, number. Like, it feels like, we're going to explain to you why you got to listen to this guy, and here's his whole epic backstory, and he saw something in the window that even I don't know. But the point is, I used to be your leader, and I look up to this guy now, so everyone has to double look up to this guy.
So you have this whole sequence where Ramon is set up with, I forget her name, Carmen, by Sven. Carmen is voiced by Sofia Vergara. She's not that interested in Ramon, at least initially. Amid all this chaos, Mumble finds his kids. He finds Eric and the babies, and he's like, we got to go back to Emperor Land. But they're like, we're never going back. Okay, so that's all happening. Cut to Krill.
I just want to very quickly say,
to Krill.
At this point, I'm not giving the movie credit, and I assume, or I had assumed, the movie is going to be entirely Mumble trying to find Eric and bring him back home. That is going to be the central conflict. And instead, Mumble finds Eric within
it's
15 minutes.
Right. It's not like a Finding Nemo quest movie at all.
Right. So then I don't know what the fucking film is, and then it cuts to Krill.
Then it cuts to two Krill. Will and Bill Krill. They are part of a swarm of krill, of millions of krill, that moves around in the ocean being krill. Krill is like photoplankton. They're little tiny shrimps.
They're like ocean bugs.
Little shrimpies.
Yeah, they get eaten by whales, and that's all they do. They're just shit. They're just like popcorn that whales eat all day.
And it feels like they have a very tight bond bordering on a domestic partnership.
Yes. They have... Well, so here's what I knew going in. I knew that someone had told me, probably Griffin, Brad Pitt and Matt Damon play gay krill. And I was like, okay, that must be like one funny scene they did as a favor to George Miller. It must be just like a little jokey moment in the movie. No. This is plot B.
Yeah.
And it's Will and Bill. I have to keep checking because all right, so Will, Brad Pitt, is very much
He's
like, what is our purpose? Why do we just do this? Right.
He's trying to figure out, we have to gain some understanding of what our place is in relation to this universe.
And he's sort of preoccupied with the fact that they're at the bottom of the food chain, and like, what if we try to eat meat, then we would be higher on the food chain. Like, it's sort of like, what if we could just leap the food chain that way?
Right, because the first installment with them, Bill's kind of the grounding element.
Yeah, Bill's just like, he's there for Will, I feel like that's why he's on the ride. He's not as existentially concerned.
Like, it goes from, let's question, why are we following this stream? Should we follow the pack? To cutting off from the stream and recognizing, oh, they're all just being led into the mouth of larger predators. So they narrowly avoid their death. And that's when he gets activated, where he's like, this is all a fucking
this is all bullshit.
Yeah. Our life is fucking bullshit. Not only am I not going to accept this, but I'm going to reverse this. We need to find something we can eat. I must become dominant in some corner of this universe now.
Right.
Now, question, krill, what do they eat normally?
what is
like
the diet of a krill?
Amoebas,
Okay.
microbes.
Okay.
Yes, they eat algae and phytoplankton. Yeah,
Little bits.
whatever's
bits.
floating around.
Little bits.
Got it.
Are krill sea monkeys, or is that different? What's in a sea monkey container?
Sea monkeys are kind of related. They're brine shrimp. They're similar.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sarah, you are now making me long for the sea monkey plotline in Happy Feet 3 that we will never get.
God damn.
God, escaping the sea monkey container.
Did you guys? I had sea monkeys. Did you guys ever have sea monkeys?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely not.
Oh, come on. They're the best.
Terrifying.
great.
No.
Griff, did you have the aquarium that had like the little magnifying glasses built in so you could?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yes.
Disgusting.
Anyway, there's krill. So there's the krill. So that's just sort of going on separately, and I would say for 90% of the movie, these two plots do not interact. They're just happening in parallel.
Every once in a while, they'll sort of pass by each other, and this is where the Nashville comparison comes in. Like, every once in a while during a big set piece, they will literally just pass each other within a geographic space very quickly. And it just feels like the movie is sort of like very quickly shaking hands and moving on. And you wonder if that's going to be the full extent of the tie between these plot lines.
Mm.
Right. Go ahead.
Sven gives a motivational speech to Eric, telling him, because Eric is so impressed with the fact that Sven can fly. And he decides that's the thing I'm going to do, because his father Mumbles had told him, look, I went through this whole thing. Everyone thought I was a freak. I wasn't good at the one thing that everyone else did. Don't beat yourself up about it. You'll find your thing. So he sees the flying and he's like, that's my motherfucking thing. And Sven's like, 100%, I'm behind you. And announces to everyone, like, this is the kid. So then Eric is immediately seen as a demigod. And then Mumble shows up and is like, not a demigod, my stupid kid.
Powerless.
Come on, we're leaving.
They never even try, because in the first one, it was everybody sang and nobody danced, right? And in this one, they don't even see if Eric can sing. No, they're like, well, you can't dance. Dancing's the thing now. Get out if you can't dance.
You gotta dance. Right, it's like, suddenly they go into a similarly suppressive and reductive society where there's only one language accepted. If you want to sing a little on top of that, knock yourself out.
Yeah, no wonder he doesn't like his dad, because his dad is the one who made that change.
Yeah, his dad's become a fucking cop.
Yeah.
That's what happens, man.
I don't know what it says about me that his disrespect for his father made me so furious. I was like, respect your father.
Very disrespectful of his father. I will say it doesn't help that his father looks like a teenager, so he's not exactly an authority figure. But like there is a scene, right after what we're talking about, where Eric is like, I want to go up the bridge, and he just walks over this perilous ice bridge, and his dad's like, oh, don't do that. No, all right, I guess we're doing it. Like it's just because he has no control over his little chick.
Spineless,
right? Like they sort of have a Nemo Marlin relationship, except in that movie, it is Marlin is so overbearing, so neurotic that Nemo has reason to rebel. And in this, Mumble is just kind of an overwhelmed teen dad who's trying his hardest, and his son's like, fuck you! Like, constantly.
Well, Marlin is acting from a place of love, and Mumble is just has no idea what having a child is like.
He really doesn't.
So out of his depth.
There is no warmth in his relationship with his baby penguin son.
No.
But then there's this crazy showdown standoff with an elephant seal. I'm trying to remember, named Brian, I believe is the name of the elephant
Brian,
seal.
Brian the Beachmaster is his name.
Correct. And the Beachmaster will not back up off this ice bridge, which is all he needs to do to let them go by.
Oh my God.
But that's just like against his deal. He won't do it.
Because it gets into the same thing of like, you have to know your place within the ecosystem.
Right.
He's like, I can't cede ground to you, because then when I face off against an actual predator who stands to possibly attack my children, I will have the reputation of the man who backed down to some dumb tap dancing penguin.
Yeah.
It's a philosophical issue. I refuse to literally back up.
It's based in natural. Like, I like that it's based in like a realist, natural perspective. That he's like, when I fight later for my mate, if they know that I gave up space to a penguin, I'm never gonna fuck again.
Yeah, this is where this movie starts really working for me, is everything it's doing is tied into actual weird animal behavior, rather than Happy Feet 1, which is just, what if penguins did shit that penguins don't do? This movie is like, isn't it weird all these weird ways that animals behave, even though they can't talk to each other, which is reflecting on how weird our behavior is. And how all these patterns that we can't get ourselves out of might be the only things that are keeping us alive.
Right. Anyway, this elephant seal should be called Tom Petty because he won't back down. Sorry, I just need to say that.
He will not back down. For a moment, I thought he was both Viola Davis and Maggie Gyllenhaal because he won't back down.
Oh God, I saw that movie in theaters. I can't believe you're referencing that film.
Not possible. That movie doesn't exist. You couldn't have seen it in theater.
Truly does not exist. A pro-charter school film starring Viola Davis. There was like a 2-month period where that could happen. Anyway, this scene is, I agree, where the movie sort of is started to vibe with me because it's very long.
It's like a 10-minute scene. The whole movie just grinds to a halt.
Right.
It's like its own short film within the movie that has highs, lows.
It's very strangely paced, and then it ends with the elephant seal falling down into the abyss and then calling up to his children, who are adorable little elephant seals, and being like, it's
possibly
over.
The cutest creatures I've ever seen on this planet were those two little English or Australian baby elephant seals. It is weird how like some of the animals have accents and others don't, and
you feel like this movie is about to kill off this character, that this guy is gonna die in order to prove a point, because the ice starts cracking underneath him, and his children are screaming, and Mumbles is like, "There's one way you can survive. You know what it is, right?" And he's
You're not gonna like
if you're gonna throw that backing down shit at me. You can shove that up your penguin ass. I already told you. Homie, don't do that. I'm only moving forward.
Oh, God. Those little those little elephant seal babies calling out to their father.
You think, and they think, that he is dying. You're watching him fall down a great divide.
It almost doesn't matter that he doesn't die because we've already experienced the emotions of him going.
Yes.
Children have already been exposed to this.
There's a pretty extended fake out. He is knocked out for enough time that you think the movie killed him, that this is a narrative dead end, and this 10-minute set piece exists only to further underline the themes of Happy Feet 2.
Right. Instead, then there's a whole sequence where Mumbles rescues him by like diving down and getting a leopard seal, and like there's a whole thing that goes on, and then Mumbles goes back to Eric and is like, pretty cool, huh? And Eric is like, what? I don't care. Like Sven did that, right?
But also only after Will and Bill tried to eat him. This is where I think I got confused.
Yeah, they try to eat the leopard seal.
To eat what they think is his dead body, because they're like, this is our prime opportunity to start eating bigger things than us.
We can give this a shot right here.
So then everyone just moves on.
Right. That's happened. We're moving
Seal
on.
Reunited with his children. Will and Bill thrown back into the ocean. Mumbles and Eric going back towards home.
We're probably about halfway through the film at this point. The penguins get back to Emperor Land to find that everyone is trapped because of the iceberg.
The iceberg dropped down the section of Antarctica where the penguins, our main penguins, live, as if it were the hole in a bagel. It is now recessed.
Right.
And so no one can get down there, and they can't get back up to level ground, and they are socially distanced.
They're socially distant. They can't eat. There's no food for them.
No.
And then that's when the Adelie penguins all show up to feed them.
They're telling Mumbles and Eric's little like baby friends, like, hey, this is fine, don't worry about it. Can you just grab a bunch of fish and bring it back here to us?
Can you grab 2 million fish and bring them back real quick? Can you Postmates some sardines to the hole?
And then Pink does an extended song, an original song she sings to her son to calm him down, which also causes the Aurora Borealis.
At least it's the Aurora Australis because we are in the southern hemisphere. Just FYI, but also yes, I couldn't tell if she's summoning it or if she's sort of drawing power from it. I don't really know.
Is Eric having a panic attack? Is that what we're seeing?
Oh yes, they fight. He fights with Mumble, and it's so scarring and emotionally visceral.
And Mumble's just screaming where he's like, "They're all gonna die!"
That old hijink, the echo of like going down to the community. They're all gonna die.
Right.
Classic.
Like, the community is just hearing like they will starve or whatever.
It was such a weird fight too, because like I said, like there is almost like zero familiarity. It just seems like he's mad at a strange child.
No, it feels like he's yelling at himself. Like he has not become as much of an intolerant asshole as his father was, but it feels like he is now yelling at himself for his own childhood being difficult.
Right, sure. So that whole psychodrama is playing out. Yeah. Meanwhile, I believe this is when Bill and Will separate. Mm-hmm. Because Bill is a little too clingy. Will is all in on predator lifestyle.
Bill has tried to sell Will on the idea of settling down and raising children together.
Yeah.
Which he is into conceptually, but he's not quite ready to domesticate yet.
Yeah.
It's not that he doesn't want to do it with Bill. It's that he needs to like go out, venture, backpack across Europe.
Right. He's got to get through this whole, existential thing.
His Rumspringa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they'll adopt other krill.
Yes.
There's got to be some fan art of these krill somewhere.
Oh my god. I mean, what's it called? A Place of Its Own? The slash fic that must exist out there.
Yeah.
But yes, and then also around this time we've gone back a couple times to Ramon just being completely ignored and shut down by Sofia Vergara.
Yes.
And Mumble is separated from his wife. So this is like peak drama in the movie. No one is getting any.
That's a fair point. There's a lot of thwarted romance. But then I'm trying to remember how this all works.
Then, like, the birds show up. The predator birds show up.
Oh, yeah.
The skuas.
What kinds of birds are those?
Skuas.
Italian, I think.
Screwids? What?
They're called skuas. They're predatory seabirds. They attack.
Okay.
They love to eat fish, but also I think they can be a bit of a pain in the neck for penguins. Yeah.
The gangster birds have surrounded our heroes.
And it is, it's Anthony Napalia doing his classic, like, mobster voice. Yes, that is the vibe. Then a Dailyland arrives, led by Sven, right?
Sure.
And they're bringing the fish. And then the humans show up. Right, that's when the humans
show up.
They
do a guitar solo.
Boat. They do a guitar solo to...
They play We Are the Champions.
We Are the Champions, right.
For some reason.
And Lovelace, like, air guitars and...
Was Lovelace trying to dance, or was he trying to, like, alert them to trouble, and they were...
I believe that's the vibe. He's trying to be like, oh my god, and they're like, yeah, guitar solo, and then there's like a blizzard and they leave.
Let's also mention, the reason why Sven hates the humans, but hasn't explained this to Lovelace, is when he peeked through the window, he saw them all eating chickens. And so he thinks they were only rescued in order to be rotisseried later.
Right. And of course, puffins are a national delicacy in Iceland and other places like that. So he might be right.
I also want to mention there was a complete narrative loop that happens at some point before this, where when they get recessed and they're stuck, the whatchamacallit? Why am I forgetting his name? Agent Smith.
Elder?
Yes.
Hugo Weaving?
The Hugo Weaving
the elder.
penguin.
He's just called the elder.
Who has like a weird, he's like
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. He's like the weird sort of like hunchback, like crooked penguin.
Yeah, he's a little gnarled and skinny.
Right.
Right.
He comes back. He sees an opportunity to like seize control again, retain his grip on these penguins, and makes a big play and gets shit on by a bunch of birds and immediately is dismissed.
That is
the bathroom
correct.
humor is limited, but it's placed very artfully, I'd say.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Eric is very much, he's all in on like, Sven can just teach us how to fly and we'll just zip out of here.
Yeah.
That's when the pressure is on Sven to really deliver in terms of like getting everyone flying.
He has to take everyone to flight school.
Yes. And there's multiple fake outs where he's like, what is he? God, there's that whole thing where he's like, I'm a bird. And then he's like, a burden if I don't teach you how to fly, right? Like there's all that. Yeah.
But now, like, the remaining 45 minutes of the movie...
It's a lot more movie, but not a lot more plot.
Yeah.
No, it all takes place at this precipice. Like, all of them on the edge, looking down at their family who are going to starve to death and trying to solve the problem of the space between them.
And, what was I going to say?
They have this, massive, ice slide. They have this massive ice slide, and they're all sliding down it and then using the force of that to gain air, and none of them get close. And the one who gets closest is Common, whose son is also played by young rapper Little Peanut, and is one of Eric's friends who he ventured out with. Little Peanut's going to come back later in this episode. I want to mention something Little Peanut did.
Little Peanut Corner.
But Common, who is the biggest of the penguins, is the last one to go down this slide, and Sven is aware that the results are looking really bad for his argument that he can fly, and that he's a penguin. So he flies underneath Common to try to propel him over the edge with his tiny little puffin body, and then they both collapse to the ground, and that's when he owns up that he's a bird. And this thing I really like where his whole physiology changes, and you realize that he's been like affecting the posture of a penguin, and then his whole body transforms into like a standard puffin posture.
Puffins are horizontal and penguins are vertical, right?
Yeah,
but penguins are birds, right?
They are flightless birds, but they do count as birds. Yes.
Okay,
but you know,
I don't.
All right, fair, fine. You don't know.
So Sven flies away, and he's like, "Look, I'm sorry. I never meant to trick you. I just stepped on some ground. It turned green. It's global warming, but I let you think that I was magical."
They do really skim over the global warming. Like, when it's like, oh, he left his homeland because it became too green in the iceberg, but they never really, like, explain it in any way. I guess because the animals don't perceive it as global warming, but I don't know if anyone would, like... Because he's even, like, excited. He's like, oh, look, it's green. Cool.
A big theme of both Happy Feet movies is the penguins don't understand global warming. They're constantly terrified by all these threats around them, and they don't understand the thing that's actually going to kill them.
This is all true. The other thing that's a major thread in Happy Feet is that they all sing songs, and the big song that they sing is Under Pressure.
So this
dance.
Like that's the big closing dance that finally seals it. It's with the help of the elephant seals.
Well, first they try to dance and they can't get it. They can't get in there because they're trying to get the snow down to like make a ramp.
But they need the seals. But then there's someone else that they need, Griffin.
Who else do they need?
The krill. They need the krill.
Well, but they don't even know about this.
That's why it's good.
Agreed.
Because Mumbles goes off, he goes and gets the elephant seals. The elephant seals help with all the banging. That's cool. But
wait, I'm sorry, you're skipping over the biggest thing.
What?
David, you're gonna feel like a fucking fool. When you realize you almost skipped over this. How do they get the seal on board? The seal is reticent. They can't get through to him. And Eric has to find what his language is.
Yeah, the opera scene, right.
Everyone sings. Mumble shows up. Now everyone's going to learn how to dance. And Eric is like, it's opera, motherfuckers. I gotta aria this shit.
This is true. This is what
And
happens.
little baby Eric with the singing voice of E.G. Daily, Tommy Pickles, and Babe Pig in the City herself, does the opera that finally makes the seal, the elephant seal, throw away his pride and his ego, and agree to help others.
It's the power of art.
Meanwhile, Bill has come back to Will and is like, look, I figured this out. I figured out.
Right.
Out of loneliness, but is also like, I figured out a way that we can help and do something better and bigger. Maybe we can't become predators, but we also don't need to be prey. We can do a third thing. Which is weaken the ice.
Tap tiny little feet against ice.
Yes.
Well, I think it's cool. I think it's cool that when he comes back, he's a legend.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're their lives are so short. They're such tiny little creatures. But I love this idea that he has like a mythology now.
It's the best. They're great guys.
They're like, oh, I thought he'd be taller. It's funny because he's a krill.
There's this message of yes, he's a krill and he's just a tiny infinitesimal cog in a giant machine, and that's tough to handle. But his is the final step that brings down the ice to free all the penguins. And so it's kind of like when people are like, oh, is it even well, why should I even vote? I'm one of millions.
It's like you have to write your congressman. There is a reason that they
every
you could be the one. Right.
But the key to that is also the penguins will never know.
They'll never know. No. They'll never know.
To the krill, they are now legends, but they'll also be dead at the end of this day.
Yes, they're going to get eaten by whales almost immediately after this, and yet...
No, they're in a cave now.
All right, they're in a cave. Fine, they won't get eaten by whales. And
they'll live forever.
Where the first Happy Feet movie is very much that more Disney style, the message is be yourself, and it's good to be yourself, and you'll figure it out, and it's nice if you're different. Don't worry about it, right? And then this one is no, we all have our parts to play, but there's meaning in that. Right.
Right. I mean, this, when they all start doing Under Pressure and you're, cross-cutting between, the penguins down below, the elephant seals, Eric singing, Mumbles tap dancing, the krill eating at everything. It feels genuinely operatic. It's, thrilling.
Yes, it is genuinely thrilling. And I liked it. And I liked the movie. I thought it was good.
The ledge collapses. The ramp is built. Everyone is reunited.
All the penguins get out.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, David, what is fascinating is the relationship between this movie and Happy Feet 1 is almost identical to the relationship between Babe, Pig in the City and the first Babe. Where the first of both movies are here's a weird animal society, and it's all about an animal who dares to do something different than the others and is rejected and ultimately has to win everyone's respect. It's the innocent who questions the norms and changes everyone a little bit. And then both Babe, Pig in the City and Happy Feet 2 are great. You had your amazing little journey of self-discovery. You don't understand how fucking big and scary this world is. It will eat you up. You are meaningless. Your little personal journey is nothing. Everything is out there trying to kill you.
Yes.
And in both cases, I feel like the first movies are a classic, young artist journey of finding your voice, finding your confidence in yourself, building up your craft. And then the second movies are George Miller being and then you have to figure out how to work within a fucking industry.
Right.
There's you have to go to Hollywood, and it's a nightmare. You just can't win. Absolutely. The best you can do is figure out the right amount of compromise.
Great lessons.
These are great lessons.
They're the hard lessons. They're the hard lessons.
Yes. What were you going to say, Ben?
Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Well, for a kid's movie, it's kind of just so weird and off-putting.
Get ready for the big city.
Yeah, exactly. But it also is stuff that I feel like kids should know and be exposed to.
100%. I am so wildly into this movie. I
Yeah.
can't believe I had not heard a single person say anything good about it. I had never read a positive review of it. I'd never spoken to anyone who had actually seen it, especially for a first movie that is weirdly beloved. I feel like it had no reputation whatsoever. I greatly prefer it to the first Happy Feet. I like it so much that I was texting with David, despite already owning the Blu-ray that I bought at a discount in preparation for this miniseries, saying, am I gonna double dip and rebuy Happy Feet 2 so I can own it on 3D Blu-ray?
You're
Because I
definitely
want to
gonna
see
do
what
it.
George Miller's doing with that actual dimension.
Griffin, you guest starring in any episodes of anything right now?
Guest starring in any episodes of anything right now?
Maybe something that would have premiered Sunday, May 10th on Adult Swim, just, as a sort of
Well, it's tough.
reminder.
I mean, because I've been under quarantine for 2 months, so anything I was guest starring on must have been an animation project that I probably recorded a full year ago. You got to remind me, David. I need more hints.
Okay.
I need more hints here.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll give you a couple hints.
Okay.
Like maybe you played a character caught in an eternal struggle between meaning and meaninglessness, between action and inaction, between sense and nonsense.
Oh my
Does that ring any bells?
God, David, you're talking about the character of Freddy Forgetti.
Is that his name?
It is. David, this is an ad read I'm excited about because I got a little skin in the game on this one. It was very nice of Adult Swim to sponsor this episode, and doubly so for a show that I am on. It's called The Shivering Truth, okay? It's from creator Vernon Chapman. You may know from Wonder Chosen, from Xavier, Renegade
Great show.
Angel.
Yep.
He's one of the best brains in comedy. This is a stop-motion animated show. It's, David, it's a little bit weird, okay?
Yeah. Give me a little summary.
Well, this is what I'd say, okay? In these weird times, stuck at home, the state of the world being what it is, some people want to watch comfort food, okay?
Yeah.
Some people want warm bath
Familiar.
entertainment. They want to rewatch the things they've seen 1,000 times that with the sanded off edges. Some of us want to just dive headfirst into the nightmare, right?
Sure. I can imagine where you fall on that one.
And if that's the case, you got to watch Shivering Truth. They did last week. They did like a premiere of the show on Second Life. You know the old website
course.
Second Life.
I didn't know Second Life was still going.
I didn't either. But so I went to the virtual premiere and watched these episodes. I've seen the second season now, and my episode, which I hadn't seen until now. I think the show's so goddamn good. It's so weird. It's like stop motion David Lynch. It's literally like every episode is like a little 10-minute nightmare with the same sort of like logic that a nightmare has. And if that's what you're looking for, look, certain people are going to go, nah. And certain blank check listeners are going to go, absolutely. That's the exact thing I'm looking for. I play a character called Freddy Forgetti. And I don't want to give you any other spoilers. I don't want to give you any other spoilers because the things that happen are insane.
Okay, well, check it out. It's called The Shivering Truth, Season 2. It's on Adult Swim at midnight, Sundays at midnight. It premiered on May 10th, and you can check it out.
I'm in episode 4. It's got great guest stars. Every episode has multiple great guest stars. I know my episode, I think Josh Rubin, past and future guest, is a voice on. Kate McCucci is on. Every episode has like 4 or 5 ringers in it.
That's incredible.
And I'm not talking about the staff of Bill Simmons' website.
Sure. Right. I mean, who knows?
Here's the point. Watch Shivering Truth, okay? Sunday, May 10th at midnight, only on Adult Swim. And also on the website in the Adult Swim app.
Let's play the box office game. November
I will say-
18th.
I listened to the first half an episode, so I don't know what this is.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
We're going to play the box office game.
Griffin's
which-
weird, and he memorized box office like
Oh,
Oh yeah, I'm
memorize
familiar
them.
with that.
But they do not leave my brain.
right. Okay, sorry. And so
Yeah.
he's gonna guess like the top 5 movies of when this
Got it.
movie came out, and
Got
you can
it.
jump in if you have a guess.
So
Okay.
this is November 18th, 2011. So I guess it's around Thanksgiving time.
Right
And
around the
this
same
movie-
time that the first film opened, 5 years earlier, everyone assumed it was just like, yeah, of course, I guess people want to see another one of these. and then people just didn't show up.
No.
Was it number one?
No.
Was
it
there
opens
saying
to
what else
number-
was happening?
Well,
Yeah.
Griffin's gonna try and guess, but it opened to number
Oh, I
2 at
Okay.
$21 million. It grosses 64 domestic, 157 worldwide. Not a complete disaster, but not a hit at all.
No, cost 150. The first one opened to high 40s and ended up making like close to 500 million worldwide.
Definitely
big drop
disappointment. But number 1 at the box office, also a new movie, is opening to $138 million. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, is it a Hunger Games picture?
No, but you're in the right
Is it a
ballpark.
Twilight movie?
Yes, but which one?
Breaking Dawn Part 1?
That's right.
Weird.
Which opened huge, 138, makes 281 domestic, big hit.
I'm almost surprised. I mean, I guess it's counter-programming, but I'm almost surprised, assuming that Warner Brothers must have felt really bullish about Happy Feet 2, that they would open it up against a movie that big. You would think they would want a weekend they could own fully.
I guess audiences are different.
Yeah, that's the Thanksgiving approach. There's always a grown-up blockbuster, and there's always an animated film. And I just they must have just figured like, oh, well, we'll be the animated film, and we'll do just fine. And I don't know. I think the real problem was what you said. It's like it was old news. Like no one was out for Penguins in 2000. Like
No.
that was yesterday's news.
And Happy Feet 1, as we talked about in that episode, opens the same weekend as Casino Royale, and they're the number 1 and number 2 movie in America for like 3 weeks in a row. But Happy Feet is the one that outgrosses the James Bond movie.
Correct.
And this is the opposite, where like the Twilight vampires just fucking body the Penguins.
Now,
Is it the second? Is that the second Twilight movie, or is it
the
third?
fourth? The fourth Twilight movie.
It's the fourth Twilight. Ooh, that's not good.
The fourth of 5.
You don't want to get beat by the fourth Twilight.
No.
Number 3 at the box office had been number 1 the weekend before. It is a like ancient action film.
Ancient?
sort of in the vibe of like a 300,
Is it the one, I'm gonna struggle for the title, but is it the Henry Cavill Tarzan one?
That's correct, but what's it called?
Is it called Immortals?
Yes, it's called Immortals. The loose adaptation of the myth of Theseus, starring Henry Cavill.
A movie that doesn't exist.
Number 4 at the box office. It's a film that we might have covered. Had a certain bracket winner triumph, but he was knocked out in the first round. It's a comedy.
Oh, it's a comedy, and it was in the March Madness.
It was briefly in the March Madness.
Is it a Dennis Dugan picture?
It's a Dennis Dugan picture. That's correct.
Is it the motion picture Jack and Jill?
That is right. It is Jack and Jill, which outgrossed Happy Feet 2.
Oh,
Pretty embarrassing. Because that was like one of Sandler's biggest flops up until that point.
Yeah, that was basically when Sandler starts to think about his retreat to Netflix. Like this is near the tail end of
that was
Adam Sandler can do anything and make $100 million.
That was the first Happy Madison to not make $100 million in over a decade.
Right.
Do you guys address the March Madness on this podcast right now, or no? We don't address what's happening like in real time.
No, we're addressing it. It'll be a time capsule.
That's my emotions right now.
This is a great opportunity.
Right. How many times has it been? It's been like 4 years that he is not.
He always makes it this far. He makes it this far and no further every single time.
It's just but I feel like this. It's unfair the setups every year.
I want to open up the sidebar.
Okay,
Ruben. For years, you have said the only way I will ever come on Blank Check is to talk about Pacific Rim.
Oh, I didn't say the only. I just said I'm very passionate about Pacific Rim. I think in a way a lot of people are, but I just, I can't even. It would take a whole episode for me to go through all my feelings, my emotions about big, wet monsters, robots. There's a big sword.
Yeah.
There's funny little men.
Sometimes he uses a boat as a sword.
They do. It's not really. They do fling a boat at the kaiju at one point.
I guess they use it more like a bat, right?
The casual world. I can't even. We can't start talking about it right now. It wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair.
It's like your favorite cinematic universe. Is that fair to say?
It's definitely my favorite cinematic universe. It's sad that they only made one film. I would have loved to see more in the universe.
Wow.
But
I agree.
unfortunately,
Pacific Rim Uprising found dead in a ditch. That's what it was called.
John
Right?
Way is my enemy.
I will say, you backed down at some point, and I don't want to drag up receipts, but I swear at one point, at least, you said to me, I will only come on the show to talk about Pacific Rim. If you want me on the show,
I just feel like
Del Toro.
That was probably just because I felt like, you've had some really strong guests, and I feel like I'm not up to caliber, but I feel like I could confidently speak about Pacific Rim to strangers for several hours.
I viewed it more as a bargaining chip, like you trying to force the issue.
I mean, you've already told me that, like, unless he wins the bracket, it's not going to happen. So I've kind of, I don't like to complain that. I kind of resent, so.
But Ruben, let me tell you a little story about a certain director who 2 years in a row came really close in March Madness until we finally had to throw our hands up and go, I guess we're doing him. He didn't win, but I guess we're doing him. And that man's name is George Miller. And we're doing this miniseries right the fuck now. And we've been having the internal conversations. I'm not committing to anything, not confirming anything, but we keep on talking about internally. The Del Toro thing feels kind of similar now. It feels like at this point, we kind of just have
it feels unfair in a way. It feels like you're against monster lovers. And I just want to put that out there. Monster lovers everywhere saying Blank Check hates us.
He was losing against Francis Ford Coppola, and you tweeted out and just immediately threw it in Del Toro's favor. Completely swung the vote.
Yeah. I feel bad that I manipulated the vote, but I also don't care because I just really want to talk about giant robots.
Guys, we need to discuss the fifth film at the top 5 in the box office. It's an animated film.
It's an animated film.
It's been out for 4 weeks. It's a $122 million grosser at this point. It is a spin-off.
Is
Griffin,
it
what's the film?
The Penguins of Madagascar?
No,
that's later.
Too many penguins.
It's a spin-off. It's a spin-off. It's 2011. It came out in October?
It came out on October 16th.
Minions.
28th, sorry. Not Minions.
Damn.
This movie premiered on a cruise ship. I am not joking. This movie premiered on the Allure of the Seas, which is a giant cruise ship.
Is it the film Puss in Boots?
Yes. And now, can you tell me one other thing about this film?
I will tell you, I watched it pretty recently.
Yeah.
After my anti-Shrek take that then resulted in the Shrekening, in which I got dragged by all of the internet, I watched it for the sake of completism, and I want to say, it is the best Shrek movie. If you can count it as such, Puss in Boots is far and away the best Shrek movie.
I feel like it was pretty well received, right? People were kind of into it. It got an Oscar nomination for animated film.
Remember that one cat that's like, ooh, that was a pretty funny cat.
And Penelope Cruz is the love interest of the film.
But here's another thing about this film that you might not remember, although you just watched it, so maybe you do. An executive producer on that film, Guillermo del Toro.
Yep, Guillermo del Toro. Sarah, literally, she was looking down at her desk, and David said Guillermo del Toro, and her head sprung up, and a finger pointed up in the air.
He's got his little spooky fingers in a lot of pots, in a lot of pies, making magic happen everywhere. He's a magician, and that is
GDT
really what I'm interested
was like chief creative consultant on that movie, gets a producer credit, apparently took a pass on the script, like consulted from a directing standpoint. He takes it
seriously.
I will say, you feel his fingerprints on the movie. Like, the film feels a little cinematically more sophisticated than the Shrek franchise, and certainly than most DreamWorks movies. I kind of like the film. I will also now admit at this point, I got an email to audition for one of the lead roles in the 10 years later Puss in Boots sequel that is now happening. More than 10 years later.
Okay. Sure.
And I did not send an audition tape because that audition email came in the week after the episode where I dragged Shrek to the high heavens, and I got really paranoid about it.
That's why you said no?
It wasn't like I refused thing, because then I watched Puss in Boots and I was like, fuck, this is good. And then I just felt like, am I gonna look like an asshole hypocrite if I
That's
just
what you get for dissing
on
Shrek. You should have never dissed Shrek, Griffin.
Griffin, do you think Puss in Boots 2 is going to be about like Puss is sort of like chilling out and he's thinking of putting together like a retrospective and he starts, smoking heroin just because his back's really hurting?
There is for sure a Puss in Boots 2 already.
There's not. They never made one.
No, there's some.
They made a Netflix animated series. There's some fucking holiday special or whatever.
Okay.
They held up on making a proper sequel. I got this audition email. I know what it's about. It sounds fucking cool. There was a character that I'm sure will be cast by one of the biggest movie
Perfect.
stars
They were like,
in
we
Hollywood.
wrote this for you, Griffin.
It kind of felt like it. And I'm sure I will be proven wrong when fucking Will Smith ends up getting the part. But in the breakdown, I was like, this is in my goddamn wheelhouse. And I didn't do it, and I regret it. I think I was overthinking it.
The other movies in the top 5, Tower Heist, Griffin.
A movie I like.
J. Edgar, one of Clint Eastwood's worst films.
Don't like it. Very bad film.
Who's J. Edgar in that movie?
I saw that in the theater.
Leo.
Armie Hammer is good in it. He's the best part.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he was really sad.
It features some of the worst old age makeup of all time.
Terrible old age makeup.
Insane.
Yes.
Insane.
You've also got A Very Harold and Kumar Christmas, 3D Christmas.
The weakest of the trilogy.
I don't think I've ever seen that one. In Time, What If Time Was a Currency?
We all know time is money. What this film presupposes is, what if money was time?
Right. And then opening at number 10, The Descendants, in 29 screens, opening with a colossal per screen average.
Remember when everyone was all crazy about that movie?
Yeah, I never understood it. I guess we could do Pain. We could do Pain. We could enter the House of Pain.
That is my
jump around.
It is my least favorite film of his, but I like his filmography a lot overall.
I would agree. Yeah.
And I infamously stand for downsizing.
Well, and that would be the blank check. That's the blank check.
Have you ever seen Downsizing, Rubin?
I have not seen it.
I feel like you might.
That's where they get little.
They get really little.
They get little.
You might be the rare person who also likes downsizing.
Maybe.
I have a feeling that one's going to click for me on rewatch.
I think it's a grower. I think it's a real Roman J. Israel.
I really recommend Matt Damon on Bill Simmons' podcast being like unapologetically being like, man, that movie is good. People will figure it out. Like, he's not I guess people didn't like it. He's like, nah, that one's good.
And he's like, Griffin's Letterboxd review was brave. He's an American hero. He was the only person willing to give it 4 out of 5. Rubes, I'm so glad we finally got you on the podcast.
Me too.
You're one of my favorite people.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that we have finally broken the seal and laid out the track work for the inevitable Pacific Rim episode.
Yes.
And I just want people out there to know, Happy Feet 2, I'm fine with, but Pacific Rim, it's just
hell yeah.
I have so many feelings. Can't even describe them right now.
Rubin, is there anything you want to plug?
I have a website where you can see my art and buy prints of my art. if you're interested in that. It's somesararubin.com, and there's no H on Sarah. It's just Sara.
That's how you be.
And
Sweetest Sarah on social media.
Yeah.
And let's say the reason why I wanted to get you on for one of these Happy Feet movies. I don't know if this is still in the works, but you had told me that you and your beau are planning to do a podcast where you only talk about talking mice movies.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully no one steals this idea because we're in the process of getting another podcast mic, so we haven't done it yet.
You have until May 17th when this episode.
Oh, perfect.
Anyway.
Okay, then we'll probably be then. Yeah. So hopefully by May we'll have a podcast called Of Mice and Movies, and it will be about movies that only feature rodents and mice, which is a lot of films.
It is, yeah.
I don't know why so many animated movies focus on mice, but they do, and it's a wonderful gift. And hopefully by then on my website I'll have a link to it if it exists. If it doesn't exist, please don't take it. I'm sure we'll eventually do it if it doesn't exist by then.
I look forward to all 500 episodes of your mouse movie podcast.
Thank you. They're definitely. Eventually we're probably going to have to branch out into like rabbits and shit, but
you'll go there eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Well, thank you for being here on the show, and thank you all for listening. And please remember to rate, review, subscribe. Thanks to Andrew Gudo for co-producing the show, and thank you to Lane Montgomery for our theme song. Pat Reynolds and Joe Bowen for artwork. Go to blankies.reddit.com for some real nerdy shit. Go to patreon.com/blankcheck for blank check special features, where we're doing commentaries. And at this point, we're probably getting ready to do whatever won March Madness, if we're not already deep into that.
At this point, well, we'll still be in our Toy Stories.
Oh, well then even better. You're going to get to hear us talk about Forky, and you're going to get to listen to Ben meeting David's fiance live on mic for the first time.
I'm excited. I've heard great things.
The way you phrased it sounded like his fiance was Forky.
That's what he's doing.
That is the canon on this show. And tune in next week for, of course, the obvious follow-up to Happy Feet 2, Mad Max Fury Road, a film nominated for Best Picture.
Recorded pre-quarantine with, should we announce who with?
Yes, why not? We originally thought we were going to do that episode without a guest because it felt like one of those movies that we sometimes come across that is so big, we just need to tackle it on our own. Right. But the timing worked out perfectly, and right before all travel shut down along with the world,
truly,
Hollywood Yoshida herself, the mother of Blankies, came back to New York for a week and is our guest on the Mad Max Fury Road episode. It is one of our longest episodes ever, if not maybe the longest we've ever done.
It's very long.
I think it's the longest.
Yeah.
So get ready for that. And what fun it has been doing George Miller.
It has.
And that's all the stuff I usually say at the end of every episode. And as always,
it's a weird title.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Like Happy Arm. That sounds so weird.
Keep
Is it a tap dancing term? Like having happy feet? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't think so. I think it's like it's just like happy chest.
Yeah.
Happy chest.
Happy chest?
Happy Arm was the original title for Bull Durham. I don't know, David. I don't know. Why not?
That was good.
Why not give it a shot?
That was not bad.